Good morning. Good morning, and welcome to Mindset Monday. I am happy to be here today and happy to see you guys. And it happens to be Thanksgiving week, which makes me feel so good. It is my absolute favorite holiday of the entire year. And good morning. Good to see you guys. Thank you for jumping in today. Good to see you. I see Carol, Derek, Lauren. Good to see you, Crystal. Hi, how's it going? I just love you guys filing in today. I wanted to start this live off today. I think gratitude is top of mind for a lot of people moving into Thanksgiving. And I'm hoping that it is a part of our practice just in general, in our daily life, because it does change our perspective as we move through the world. I know this with every cell of my being. And I want to take this time at the very kind of top of the hour to, hi, Ginger, to thank you guys for your just undying support. I launched Carrie Davis Consulting in January 1st of 2024, the beginning of this year. And there has just been so much love and support pouring out from every crevice. And I just am so thankful. And thank you so much for being a part of that. I really just want to drop in and thank you so much for the love and the support, and thank my clients for trusting me. I think it's huge to take on a coach and trust that you're being guided in the right way. And so for those of you that I have coached and we worked on projects, for those of you that I've been coaching for a short amount of time and for years, I just want to tell you that there's not a day that goes by that I am not so grateful for our relationship and the trust and how much you add to my life. So I get off my calls with you guys and feel so full. And, I had one goal moving into this year, and that was to practice more gratitude in my life. And I think get present to even when things aren't always feeling easy and they're feeling challenging, that we have a choice in how we look at things, that we can be grateful that things are brought up to us, even if it feels not great, or we could feel resentful or upset about it. And I remember as a salon owner, which I could say I remember as a salon owner because I'm not one anymore. Um, it's been pretty recent, so it's still super fresh. But I remember as a salon owner, one of the things that would give me the most anxiety is when I would have somebody coming up to me and saying, "Do you have a minute? Can we talk?" And I always jumped to the worst conclusion, which was, okay, well, now they're getting ready to quit, or whatever it was going to be. When someone said, "Do you have a minute?" I just thought, just put your resignation letter on my desk and let's just like cut out the middleman. I would go to the worst case scenario. And and sometimes, yes, people would move on, and sometimes they maybe had a complaint or they had something to share that was maybe a less, not a desirable information. But I remember really trying to always say to myself, I'm so glad this information came my way, because if it didn't come my way, the energy in the company could have a totally different impact, that energy. And so knowing information, whether it feels good or not, I chose to be grateful for that information, so that I'm in the knowing and I know and I could do something about it. So think back to when that's happened to you or your business, or you maybe got some news that was less than fun. Maybe you didn't think it was something to be grateful for. But when we think about it and we think back, some information that's come our way that has felt really hard maybe was the best information you've ever gotten. And so I think that we have a choice when we move through the world, that when we are taking information in, We have a choice to be bitter and resentful over it, or we have a choice to be grateful for that information so we can feel empowered to respond and react in a way that feels really authentic to us. So, this gratitude thing is more than some feel good concept. And that's what I want to talk about today. That the action, the behavior of gratitude can do so many things for your business and your personal life. It definitely strengthens relationships, doesn't it? And it's not just this feeling of gratitude. And, I'm going to talk a little bit later about things that we can do to cultivate gratitude, but it's how we show up in the world, humble and gracious. And that's a behavior and a daily practice. And so it helps to strengthen relationships. It also enhances resiliency when we have the practice of gratitude. And I'll share an example with you that right now I am in the middle of a big construction project. We are building a ADU, or an accessory dwelling unit, off of our rental property. And we're building it from the ground up. And I got to tell you, going through the city for almost 2 years, delays, fees, one fee after another that I didn't expect. I feel so much smarter about building and real estate now than I did before I started this process. And so, were there challenges? Were there frustrations? Have there been? Will there continue to be? But I am looking at it that I'm growing and I'm learning, and this is a passion of mine that I want to take and possibly duplicate. So this is me getting better and smarter, and it's forcing me to use my resiliency muscle in order to be more resilient for the next time something comes my way that I don't really want to hear and I wish maybe wasn't happening, but I understand my project better and I feel a little smarter around it. So gratitude definitely enhances that resilience factor, and it helps to maintain perspective and focused. So I want you guys to think about a challenging time that you felt was really hard, or a conversation that you felt you didn't want to have, or information that came across your desk that you wish you never even had to listen to. And I want you to think about a time that you walked away saying, I'm really glad that happened. Because had I not known that, maybe the obvious path, had I not known that, wouldn't have been my best path. And there's a saying that a gal that I go to, I call her my healer friend because she does Reiki and healing. And she reminds me, and I think I've shared this with you before, that the universe is always working for you, never against you. So when we come up against things that feel challenging and difficult, maybe our perspective is, wow, thank you. I didn't see this for myself, but I see that I can now. And I'll tell you what, when this whole concept of the universe is working for you, not against you, I've had a lot happen in these last couple of years. I'm sure you have too, and a lot since 2020. There's been so many change of events that some are in our control and some that are not in our control. But over the last, since 23 and 24, 2 years, I've sold 3 businesses. And in 2020, I closed a business. And so much learning, so many hiccups, so much room for resentment here or resentment there, or being upset because things weren't going exactly the way you wanted them to go. And it's not always easy to practice gratitude and spirituality when things aren't going your way, right? It's easy to do it when you're on top of the world and you're sitting there in your perfect yoga pose. But when things get tough, that's when I'm going to challenge you to practice gratitude and to practice this concept that it may not feel like this right now, but the universe is always working for me to help me, leaning in towards me. So I'm going to lean in. And for any of those of you that are parents out there that have struggled parenting, which I have, I mean, we went through a year and a half of, I just didn't even know how I was going to come out of it. And I kept leaning in and saying, there's just something I'm not getting or I'm not knowing. And I have to say, like, my gratitude for that time has left my wife and I in a stronger position, our relationship with our son in the best place. I'm so grateful for my relationship with my child that I couldn't have seen, but I had to hold on to this concept that the universe has got to be working in my favor, and you just keep taking one step at a time. So if you're in a place that it feels really hard or something hard is up here in front of you, just keep thinking and putting one foot in front of the other, and I promise you, you are going to feel great getting to where you are, even though it might not feel like that in the moment. But whether it's my achy joints, whether it's the fact that I chose to stop playing tennis because my hip and my knee, but like, wow, what I didn't know is I would fall in love with swimming. And that's 3 days a week. And I am just loving being in the water, right? So I didn't know that some other great thing was going to come out of that. So I just am telling you these little snippets because that's how the universe works. But when we're in the middle of muck, with sticky feet that aren't really moving, sometimes maybe it's time to pause and just lean in and look at all the things that are working for you, all the things that you are grateful for, and stay focused on what's important to you and what your goals are. There's a lot of energy right now, and around the holidays, there's a lot of chaos. The energy could feel super chaotic, and it could be very easy to get thrown off balance because we're probably all ADD beings, right? We're like grasping for all these things. But I'm going to say, be where your feet are. Keep your goals in front of you. Let the spinning happen around you. Put a little force field around yourself and know that where you are is in the perfect place. And then practice some gratitude elements around where you are, even though it may not be where you want to be. I have this saying that any of my staff that are on here are going to maybe roll their eyes or maybe say thank you for this, but it's be now what you want to become. If I want to become somebody that practices more gratitude, that handles stressful situations with grace, that does a little more floating than bumping through the world, practice it now. Be now what you want to become. So start making little shifts. So when the big things come, you're building that faith bubble up so that you have all of those deposits to fall back on. All right. I'm going to just say gratitude is a choice, right? Like we have this choice to be grateful for things or even be resentful for things. And I think if we look even in our personal relationships, our husband, our significant other, our wives, our partners, our business partners, I could look at things that bother me and I could focus on that, or I could focus on the things that light me up because of who this person is in the world and to me. And it's where we put our focus that creates our mindset. We could keep focusing on negativity, or we could focus on the great pieces about the people and the situations around us, and that becomes our reality. I saw a part of me probably over this last 6 months and where my focus was so heavily in certain areas that was not giving me a lot of peace of mind in the morning when I would wake up and I wasn't really practicing what I know to be really healthy for my spirit. And I had to create a shift for myself and create self-care for myself so that the reality that I walk into my life with is what I want to be focusing on, which is positivity, opportunity, gratitude and the beauty and the things around me and the people around me, because it's all there. If we focus on negativity, we are going to find so much. Oh, are we going to find it? If we focus on the beauty, we're going to find so much of it. So today, I know that this is like nothing that you don't already know, right? But I surely couldn't come on here the week of Thanksgiving, which is my favorite holiday of the entire year, and not talk about gratitude philosophy. Whether you're a business owner, whether you're a technician, whether you are whoever you are walking around in the world, right? Gratitude for where you are. Another thing that I try to focus on, because it's easy to focus on the negative, is gratitude for my body. I could find every little thing that's wrong with it, but this body moves me through the world. I get to use this body to get up and walk through the world, sometimes jog and swim and work out. And I get to go places and do things because this body allows me to do that in whatever capacity that is. So what are the things that you naturally would focus on that would be negative? And think about your business. I mean, you could think about all the shit going on in your business and the people that are driving you insane. Or you can look at the positivity under your roof and what people bring to create your environment. And your day will completely change. I promise. There's also some exercises you can do with your team that encourage a gratitude state of mind. And I remember last year we did, I think we did a month of gratitude and really focusing on it. And it was the month of November last year. And every week we picked names out of a cup. And so we had a different partner for the 4 weeks of the month. And you could do this any month of the year, any week of the year, any day of the year. And our person that we had, it was our job every day that we worked with that person, or even if we didn't work with that person, to find something to brighten their day. Something we were grateful for around them that we shared with them. Maybe we went out and got them a coffee when they were super busy. Maybe we got a card and put it in their locker. Maybe they got a little Post-it note when they opened their station drawer. But that person was your person. And you weren't partners, so you didn't have the same person unless that was the luck of the draw. So everybody had their person. And I have to tell you, the vibe of the company was completely different. It was just people were looking for things to do for other people outside themselves to make somebody have a great day. You could do that with your group of friends. You could do that with your staff. So just wanted to throw that out there because, I know you came here maybe for a little business nugget, and I hope that this is partially a business nugget and just a life philosophy that we can practice a little bit more often. So let me see if I have anything else that I might schedule to talk to you about. I know it's kind of a short one this week, but let's see. Well, I think my takeaway in preparing for today's live and really getting grounded in some of the things that I do in the morning, which I want to share with you before we close, is take a minute and write down a few things that you're grateful for, whether it's people, whatever it is, whether it's my body moving me around this world, whether it's my wife that supports literally everything and anything I do, all the crazy things too. It's not to me enough to just write them down, although I think that's a great start. But how do you share that with other people? How do they know how you're feeling? Is it through a card? Is it through a text? Is it through a phone call? So today I want to challenge you to send out 3 text messages, 2 texts and a card. One of those could be a face-to-face. I want you to think about who you want that to be with, what you're grateful for. And I'd love for you to drop me some comments and let me know what it is that you're grateful for. And what do you cherish? And how do you see things that helps you to move around the world sane, calm, able to solve problems and strategize with a clear mind? You know, when we practice gratitude, those things become more available because we're not reacting and responding out of the height of emotion. We're more grounded. We are where our feet are, where we are planted. And that's what I'd like for us to think about. So, again, thank you so much for joining in, whether you are here this morning while I am on this live or whether you are tuning in and listening later. Just know that I'm so thankful for each and every one of you. And I hope that you have an amazing week that's spent with friends and family and people that you love and people that make your heart swell, because that's what you do for me. So I'm off to have a great day today. What about you? I will not be here next week because I'm going to Palm Springs this coming weekend, but I will be here December 9th and I'll be back. So I hope you guys have an amazing week. Mwah. Bye.